Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tom Boland. I'm a property investor and entrepreneur. And in this video, we're going to be using property data and analyzing deals that we've sourced and using the evaluate tool in order to find comparables for sold and rental properties within a certain area. So I'm going to be showing my screen on this one. Let's get into it. So to save a bit of time, I've found a property already on Rightmove that we're going to be analysing, but we will be doing other videos where I show you exactly how I find these types of deals. And the types of property that I source and invest in are apartment blocks and multi-unit apartment blocks. So we're looking for freehold blocks with several units within them. And we want to analyse each individual unit and the value of those units if they were sold individually. Because you can see here on this property, the asking price is £275,000. Now, if we're buying this as, I think it's just scroll down here, it's 4 two-bedroom apartments. So we're buying the freehold here. So if we were to split the titles and refinance on the increased value from a title split, we would want the value to be more than the £275,000 than they're asking for, and that we would be potentially paying for this. So I want to be using property data to analyze this deal and to find out what the individual units are actually worth, one split and perhaps sold off separately or refinanced against the individual value. So we would assume that 4 units here are actually worth more as individual units than the whole block is worth on a yield investment basis at £275,000. But before I move over to property data, I just want to show you on the right-hand side of my screen here, while we're still on the Rightmove website, that I actually have a Chrome extension plugged in to Rightmove with property data. So if you sign up for property data, you actually get this plugin as part of your membership, which is great because it gives you information such as the postcode that you can see there. So just below the picture there of the property, you can see that the address is given, but there's no actual number of this property and the full postcode isn't given. So what property data does, just on the right-hand side of the screen here, it gives us a full postcode. Now that helps us when we're analysing the deal because we need the full postcode to make sure we find the exact property that we're analysing. One thing I do want to do, so we're going to take that postcode here. And before we actually move over to property data, I just want to make sure that we know the exact number of this property. So I'm just going to go in my partner's account in Nimbus. Nimbus Maps is a great platform for sourcing off-market properties, but for now, we just want to confirm that we're looking at the right property in property data through going through Nimbus and getting the correct address. So we do have the postcode, which I've put in, and you can see that all the title deeds are outlined in white. So I just want to zoom into where our blue marker is on Grange Road, into our property, and we can obviously tell by the way the street is and the way the picture we saw on Rightmove that the property here on the end is the property we're looking for. So because Rightmove don't give us a full address, I've come here over to Nimbus and I've selected this property and I've found the full address. So it's number 12 Grange Road, Hartlepool, and it's confirmed that the class is C3 and it has 4 self-contained properties. Now it also says that it's got a commercial unit. Now I don't think that was in the Rightmove advert, or at least I didn't spot that, but that's quite interesting that it says it's got a commercial element to it as well. So that could be add an additional aspect to the deal for us. And as I say, Nimbus is great for sourcing off-market property deals, and especially when you're looking for freehold apartment blocks. And you can see there straight away it shows you that this is a freehold apartment block with 4 self-contained units. So it's exactly the kind of properties we want to be sourcing. And if you did want to use Nimbus, I have an affiliate link with them, which is down below in the description, and you can get a free trial, and you can also get 10% off your membership. So just check that out there in the description. But for now, we're looking at property data. So I'll just move over to property data, and we'll start actually analysing this deal that we found. So this is my partners page in property data, and we're going to use the evaluate tab here. Now, before I get started, do have a little gift for you. I know I just mentioned the Nimbus discount. We do have a partnership with them. We also have a partnership with property data, and with property data, I can offer you a 30-day free trial and 50% off your first month if you want to become a paid member thereafter. And that will be a link down in the description as well for you. But what I want to do now is just go on the evaluate tab and valuation, because we want to find the individual values for these flats that we're looking at. So as I go in valuation, you can see here, we've got different property types that we can value. We've got houses and flats, HMOs and developments. And obviously we want to be looking at flats. So we select flats there, and we have a few inputs that we can add here to find the property and to evaluate it. So obviously we need the postcode. So I'll just put the postcode in there. And yes, it is a flat. And the construction date. Now, we've not actually gone through so much research to find what the construction date is. And there's only a few drop downs there as well for that. So I don't think it really matters too much. And I'm sure part of your due diligence, you can find out what your exact construction date was, perhaps through Nimbus or perhaps through land registry searches. For this example, I'm just going to use 1914 to 2000. And we're going to do 1 bathrooms for each apartment, and I think it was 2 beds, so we're going to put 2 bedrooms, and we're going to say there's no off-street parking and no outside space. And because we can't actually see the interior images, or we haven't looked at them yet, I'm just going to say that the finish is average. But just to show you the drop down there, you can have from unmodernized, average, high, very high. And I'm just sticking with average here. So because we've got the postcode in here, we can now search the internal area square footage. And what property data does is it finds comparables within the area, sold comparables, and for sale comparables based on their square footage. So we're going to make a search here, and we're going to look up this postcode. Now, just going back to Nimbus, we did confirm that the address was number 12 Grange Road, and there's 4 flats in there. So we're now looking for number 12 Grange Road, which straight away we can see here, flat 4, 12 Grange Road. And there's a few other bits of information that property data gives you. It pulls information through from land registry and the EPC register and all these different types of places, and it will give you that information here within this portal, so you don't have to go elsewhere looking for it. We have the internal floor area at 678 square feet, and the energy rating is classed as D with a score of 61. So now we want to select that property, and we now want to value the property. And property data spits out a bunch of information that we're going to go through and analyze. So at the top here, you can see that it's just confirming the inputs that we did put in. It's a flat, it's got 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a postcode, the construction date, all of that information is there as confirmation. We can see there that it's stating each unit is worth £75,000, and we have confirmed using Nimbus Map that there are 4 self-contained units within this property. So we know that the split value or the gross development value of this property is £300,000. Now, if you remember, the agents were asking for £275,000. Now, the split value, if it is true to be £300,000 from what we've found here in this quick session, then we would be adding £25,000 worth of value based on the asking price of £275,000 just by doing a paper exercise and splitting the titles. Of course, I'm not suggesting that that's a good deal, because I would want probably about £50,000 or maybe more off that £275,000 asking price to make it a reasonable deal and to make it worthwhile splitting the titles and going through the process and accumulating the cost to do so. But just want to scroll down this page a bit more. Sorry, but before I do that, you can see the rental valuation here, where it's giving you that estimated gross yield amount within that area is 8.7%. So that's the average kind of gross yield that you should expect within that area, with a rental income of around about £541 per calendar month. And the figures we see here and the sold comparables, this is just to back up that information that they're showing us above. So in the last 18 months, the average sold property per square foot on a similar flat within a 0.9 mile radius was £137 per square foot. So property data has given us the average sold price per square foot within that area, which is giving us the valuation of £75,000. However, we've got more information down here. So the information here tells us that the properties that have been sold within that area, within that certain time frame, the square footage that they've sold for does massively vary from £140 per square foot at the top there, goes down to 137, 73, 84, £63 per square foot. And it gives you the price that they sold for, £65,000, £150,000, £33,000. So you can see that the £75,000 valuation that it's given us is quite accurate, but also based on an average value. So we would want to do more research after we've done this initial research to make sure that our property aligns with the sold comparables within that area, the size, the finish, the location, the demand, all these different types of things when we're looking for property deals and analysing. And then if we scroll down further, the average asking price for a 2-bedroom flat within a 0.86 mile radius is £91,000. So the actual average asking price is a lot greater than what it's saying is the actual sale price. So that would suggest that a lot of flats have been on the market for higher and then sold for a lot lower. And you can see here, it actually gives the addresses of those properties that are currently for sale and the current asking price. And it also gives you the distance away from our property that we're analysing, 0.2 miles away up until 0.8, and even further afield. We can go a little bit further down here, and the average asking rent for a 2-bedroom flat. Now, this is good because once you pull in this data, and you can possibly use it within a deal analyzing spreadsheet that you may have access to, that you could say that the flats you are buying are maybe renting out for £450 a month, but within that area they could rent for £550 a month. So you know that when you're getting into this deal, you could instantly increase those rents by £100 a month, for example. So some great supporting details there when you're analysing the deals. What are they worth? What have people been asking for flats in the area? What have they sold for? What are the rents? What are people achieving? And that helps you determine whether this deal is a good deal or not. So that is how I analyze deals using property data. When I'm sourcing these types of properties, I want to make sure that a title split increases the value and I'm not overpaying for the property. Property data helps me do that. And just want to remind you that I do have that gift for you. If you wanted to sign up to property data, I can give you a discount code, which is below in the description. It gets you a free 30-day free trial, as well as 50% off your first paid month with TB50. So I hope that helped, and I will see you in the next one.